Here's another breakthrough. I bet you didn't know that making money is about saving as much money as possible. That means buying beans, buying frozen vegetables, and buying the cheapest stuff at the store that's actually kind of good for you and stuff, and then cutting all your costs. Because when you get into a monastic style of living, you start changing everything about what you do. You start changing your habits as far as spending, and you become a lot more frugal in what you're doing. And then what happens, you start noticing that your bank account starts growing, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. You don't want to live like the world. The world goes out there, it's a high consumption based economy where they're just blowing money on those useless stuff. But when you manage that stuff, like when you go down to the store, like any of these warehouses, buy bags of beans, make stew and stuff like that, everything dramatically changes. And over time, just imagine, start from a usual spot where you're using the two examples of somebody who's acting frugal and then somebody who's living in the usual life where they're buying junk food and stuff like that, and then you buy these more cheaper products but they're healthier for you. Add up at the end of the year what those costs are and see where your annual amount leads to, and then you're going to find out what I'm talking about. You gain success, and that's what I'm talking about. Gaining that success with your money. And then you imagine that if you're doing that for a year and you built that habit, then you do it another 5 years, and then you do the comparison. You're going to start noticing money that's being saved. That's the Christian life. That's how Christians are supposed to be. You're supposed to cut costs. You're not supposed to be out there being one of these high competitive based people who are high maintenance, always spending money, high consumption, wasting money. You know, when you're doing the right thing and you're doing these things that are good for you, yeah, you start building all sorts of really wonderful, great habits, and you can start seeing the outcomes of your success after 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. And especially if you're spending some of that money that otherwise would have been spent in your high maintenance living, you'll start noticing you could start spending that money into investments, whether it be silver, stocks, whatever those things may be. And then you're going to find out what that turns into. And that's what the Christian life is about. It's about optimizing your costs. It's about maintaining your day in, day out. And then once you resolve those things, then you start turning that money into a success. That's about breakthrough. That's about victory. That's about being a financial success rather than being just a high consumption, high cost type person. Hope that helped.